Thanks, Alan. We have, it's hands-on practice with industry standard software. For promotion to say I've accomplished X, Y, or Z. Particularly with a letter of recognition in GIS, it might open some doors for you.
And that's like that's the straight up software that everybody is using for like traffic maps and emergency operation centers.
So it's a Esri Arc suite, and there's a lot of different software there. ArcMap is kind of the keystone of that, but there's also ArcGIS Online, and there's Arc Pro now, and there are a lot of different pieces to that. But as you walk through this letter of recognition, you'll learn what each of those are, and become familiar with them as you go along. So we have a number of online classes, and we also have a hybrid class that would give you room to come to FCC and sit down at the computers here and work with the instructor to work with the software right here on campus. But some of the classes are completely online, particularly the IS courses, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But this is also working towards the preparation for GIS certification. So as you work through this letter of recognition, Esri has its basic desktop certification, which is for entry-level folks, and this would be work towards helping you for that industry certification as well.
So I don't think it would get you the certification, but basically by the time you're done with it, you should be able to take the test and go fly right through it.
Yeah, this is definitely points you in that direction. So we'd be looking to help set up with that as well. And as Alan said before, this is a subset of the overall coursework. For a degree program, so you're earning college credit as you go. Whether you decide to extend that at some point in time, either here in this program or any other program, it may be beneficial to your academic pursuits as well. And then you have expert instructors that have experience working with the software and working in GIS that are training you along the way.
We've flown balloons on campus together. They're actually pretty awesome.
This particular letter of recognition is comprised of 5 different courses. And I'm just going to kind of go through those to help you understand what we're dealing with and understand the different classes. You have GS 101, EM 201, and then 3 FEM classes, 191, 192, and 200. So when we talk about GIS 101 and EM 201, those classes are our standard 3 credit classes here at Frederick Community College. So the intro to GIS with ArcGIS is a 3 credit class. It's a standard 15-week course, and it is a hybrid course. So part of the class would be done online, and part of the class would be done here in the classroom one night a week, to where you'd have essentially your lab time working with the instructor and working with the software here on campus. EM 102 is a completely online class that is offered in public safety and GIS and technology, and that course is kind of split between public safety side of things and the technology side of things, about half and half, but it walks you through GIS and public safety through half of that course and gives you kind of a good basis of what GIS would do within public safety.
Yeah, and the idea sort of, I think, is that you start off with the intro stuff, learn how to use all the software, what it is, what all these terms mean, and then you walk up and okay, here's how it applies to a field. So you're broadening. It's pretty standard skills training, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And it's really designed from the ground up. And the idea with this letter of recognition, as the program expands, we would bring on more advanced and more complicated courses that would build on these preliminary introductory courses in GIS as we move along. So that's the first half of this with regard to instructor led courses for GIS 101 and GIS 102. Then we also have the FEMs, which are FEMA Independent Study courses, or the IS courses. Now a FEM could be anything from one class or multiple IS classes built into what is called a FEM to be able to create a credit. And I'll let Alan speak a little more about that with regard to that, because this is the world he walks in, is building these FEMs and making sure we have a college credit tied to them.
Basically, what you're saying is right. The FEMs are the way that we put your IS courses onto a college transcript. In terms of what you'll see, you'll go to the FEMA's website, you'll take the IS courses. If you've ever done it before, it's pretty simple. You get your FEMA student ID number. It just doesn't take long if you've not got one. You click through the courses, you do the assignments that got in them, and then you take the test at the end. If you pass the test, yay! And then for each FEM, each credit that we've decided that for this topic, to get this, you need to check 3 boxes or 2 boxes, and you check them by completing those IS courses. So FEM 101 might need 1 IS course to satisfy it. If you complete that IS course, check that box, pass that test, you're all good. FEM 102 might need 3. You might need to pass 3 tests. What you do from there is go to our third party, the one I mentioned earlier who does our tech stuff online, emstudy.com. There you it works like Amazon. You figure out which credit you're after. You say, these are the courses that I've passed to get there, and then you order it. There's a conversion fee. At the moment, it's $88 a credit, which I think is about half of what our current credit price here is at the college generally. They check it through their system, they check through FEMA system, make sure that you did actually pass those courses and that you're who you say you are. If yes, they'll validate it, they'll send you a happy little email, and then they'll send us a much longer email that says, put these all on this person's transcript. When we put them on your transcript, they come across as those FEM numbers. In GIS, those specifically would be 191, 192, and 200.
So the combination of those between the GIS 101, which would be 3 credits, EM 201, which would be 3 credits, and then a combination of each of these 3 FEMs would be 1 credit each, would give you 9 credits and enough for your letter of recognition when you completed all of those. And the thing about it is, you can start with GIS 101. The FEMs can be done, self-paced anytime that you want to work on those, so they can be completed relatively quickly if you're motivated to do so. And then when they're done, those 3 credits could wrap up pretty quickly.
Yeah, and then I think we've almost buried our lead here. Is in this case, these 3 FEMs are the what the independent study course offers as far as more GIS specifics, like how FEMA's going to use these tools. So we've got emergency management technical tools, GIS specializations, operations and management. So we're not just telling you randomly take these other FEMs. Like you start with your 101, you get your basics of the concepts, how to use the tech. 201 takes you through how does it apply to the field. And then the FEMs are, how does FEMA expect you to use it?
And regardless of where you are in emergency management, you are going to touch FEMA at some point in time. So knowing that information is going to be really helpful, and that's why this is designed this way at the level it is. So that's very good, Alan. Thank you. So just kind of close this out, just to let you know, we are currently moving forward with this letter of recognition. First out of the box is our GIS 101 class. That class is now registering for spring of 2019, and that'll start here in the last week of January. But it'll be on campus Tuesday nights from 5 to 7:30 here at Frederick Community College, and it'll be run by adjunct professor Anthony Dow, who is a GISP, so he's a professional GIS. He's got a master in geography, and he works for AECOM, and he's our adjunct professor for that particular course. So, the reality of it is, if you're able to register for that spring class here in 2019, get your FEMs done, by the time you got out at spring, you would only have the 201 course, which would probably run this fall.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think for a bunch of other reasons, we're going to have to run it this fall. So
yeah. So for the reality of it, more than half of this can be done this spring, and then one more class, and you have a letter of recognition by the end of this year yet. So that's kind of all that I have with regard to the public safety GIS letter of recognition. Again, this is Rich McClellan, the special project manager here at the Mid-Atlantic Center for Emergency Management, and I'm with Alan Lyons. He's our instructional specialist here. our contact information is there. By all means, if you have questions, reach out to us. And thank you for your time. Alan, you got anything else?
Only that if you're interested in registering, especially for GIS, but if you're interested in registering for anything with us, any of our offerings, registration's open until I think the first full week of February. But the sooner you get registered, the more seats we can open, the more classes we can offer, all that sort of fun stuff. And at the moment, I'm the one who's tracking all those numbers. So if you want to join in, make me happy. That's about it. Thank you for your time, and I hope this new format suits you well. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you all.